There we are.
Oh, you gotta love live TV, boys. You gotta love it.
Jeez. I don't know why it does that. It's super strange. It just kind of like has this little cut and then it continues. So
yeah,
we got to figure that out. So.
We got to figure that out.
I'll work on that a little bit. So yeah.
Yo, Kyle's over here looking like Easy E over here.
Dude, when's the new album dropping, bro? What's happening?
I am in mourning right
now.
All
black.
I'm all blacked out. It's like
oh my god,
all black. Even my sweats are black. Like my soul is black. My heart is black.
Oh, that's bad.
I am in pain right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for some Jags fans to jump in the chat and probably start saying Duval here shortly.
Yeah,
so
Duval.
We'll see how that goes. But hey, we got John here from Out of Your Falcon Mind. He was texting us when things were good and when things were bad during the game. And,
yes.
We were just chatting about, hey, let's get him on the show. Here you go. Here's the Duval guy.
There it is.
Found him.
A couple of they found us.
Got him. Oh, that's awesome. Special guest, nice. So John, glad you're here with us. Thank you for hopping on. And
Mike should be here in a few. I think.
Okay. It looks like he just jumped in here.
The old tissue box of the Charger saying, "Oh, there we go. We got Mike. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent.
We got a full house here. I love it.
Yes.
That's good stuff. This is good stuff.
This is a group therapy session. That's why. So.
Yeah, we kind of know what it feels like. So.
Yeah.
Oy.
Actually, if you guys want to, I could show you that little photo, that meme that I created of exactly what the Chargers game was, which I think it was pretty much after the game. This is the first thing I thought of. And I was like, this is exactly what the Chargers game was yesterday.
This is perfect.
This is absolutely perfect. So here you go, guys. Chargers first half, we have a perfect thoroughbred right there. Looking great. Yeah. Looking perfect.
Look at that ass. Looking sharp.
Excellent. Great mane going on there. Nice tail. Everything looking good. And then second half, wow. It just the wheels fell off.
Oh my God.
It was not fun to watch, but guys, we've seen it before. And, that's one thing that I know John and the Out of Your Falcon Minds, when we did a live with them earlier this year, we were like, hey man, it's weird how we are very similar as franchises.
Damn. I mean, How prophetic, man. How
Like, well,
prophetic.
yeah, dude.
It's insane. It's insane. It's how similar we are, and it's frustrating to watch, and it never feels good to be able to have something like what we had yesterday. And guys,
I remember I was brought back, when I dropped you off, James, and I came home. I was thinking about when I believe it was Anthony Lynn went to the playoffs last time with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. I remember a very specific question that I think it was posed to Keenan Allen. They said, should we fire, or should the head office fire Anthony Lynn?
Yeah.
And he goes, look, I don't know why that conversation even comes up, because they're not the ones out there making plays, right? That's the players. The players are the ones out there doing it, right? And when I think about this game specifically, I think about very specific losing their cool moments. Bosa, that offsides call when we had that sack, and we were stopping that drive. That was a touchdown drive. And then secondarily, he lost his cool getting held, threw his helmet on the ground. They automatically got that 2-point conversion. Then we missed a freaking field goal. So those are things that just – I'm sorry, that wasn't a coaching issue. That was a player issue. Now, you can argue, well, and again, Bosa was on the sidelines because he was losing his cool the entire time, right? And so he was trying to make up for what he did wrong. But damn, and that's, you're a professional football player. You got to keep your cool. And so it will be interesting to see what the fallout is. And again, I asked this question, guys, should the Chargers fire Staley? I'm seeing some people talk about this. So what are your thoughts? And maybe we should go around here on the podcast. Maybe John, your special guest. Why don't you give us your opinion first, since you're a special guest and a third party, right? Obviously, you're a Falcons fan. We've become good friends, and we've really appreciated having you on our podcast. But what's your thoughts? What's your general thoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, when y'all went up 27-0, like the thought entered my mind, like, oh God, but I didn't text you guys that. I was like, I'm not even gonna put it out there. I don't want to jinx anything. I'm just gonna I just thought to myself, like, okay, I hope they just put their foot on their throats in the second half, because they're gonna have to. And I mean, kudos to Trevor Lawrence, man. I mean, he put it together in the second half.
Bros.
There he is.
What up, Mike?
What's going on, man?
How we doing?
Mike had a little bit of a
sadness. Yeah.
Mike had some leaking issues that destroyed his laptop last week, so he's had.
Oh no!
He's had this all on my phone, but I wouldn't miss the bros. I don't care if I was shot.
That's right.
If it was a robbery happening, I would still be going live with the bros, buddy.
Appreciate it, man.
I'm gonna take my shit. Hang on. But, no, man. But when it hit, it was like I said, second half hit, man, and it started kind of going sideways. I mean, that was. I mean, you guys are going to hear the same things we heard about. Matt. I mean, it's like Justin's going to hear the same shit that we heard about Matt Ryan. It's like it's going to be like, well, is it on him? Is he not making the throws? Is the coach not making staying aggressive and making the play calls? You're going to hear the same things, and I text you guys right after the game. I was like, so, I mean, you got to you got to call Sean, right? Got to see what his interest level is, because, I mean, that was the talk earlier in the season. And only thing I don't know, and you guys probably know better than I do. Y'all are paying Staley what, like $4 million a year?
No, $1 million a year.
Oh shit, is it? Oh wow.
$4 million contract.
It's a $4 million contract for 4 years. So $1 million a year.
Yeah, so Peyton's gonna be like 3 times that, probably.
At least.
At least.
At
least.
Yeah. For 1 year. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, like, I don't know that would the ownership do that, or are they? I don't know. How do you? I mean,
pretty girls always cost more, man. It's worth it.
I mean, that's the way it is.
You can get an ugly girl, but it'll be cheaper. But it's less.
Mike, that's perfect. Yeah. That's perfect.
That's a.
You got to pay up. You got to pay up for the pretty girls, right?
The pretty girls, buddy.
I mean, when you blow the 27 point, I mean, like, there's enough blame to go around to everybody. Like you mentioned, both. Like, was he? We were texting about that. Like, that was such a close offsides, man. Like, I when he showed the original replay and it was like the red line, his helmet was barely touching the red line. Like, I mean, like barely, if at all.
Right.
And then when Dungy drew the line, he drew a damn crooked line. It wasn't even straight when he drew it on the TV. I was like, that's not a straight line, dude. Like, it's not. you're making them look offsides because you drew a crooked ass line. But I mean, either way, I mean, like, I mean, Bosa's got to keep his shit together. But I mean, it was but you know, it's all going to come back to the head coach always in these situations, and they're going to take. You can't fire the players, right? So you got to fire somebody when it comes down. Because I mean, I wanted, and Mike knows this, I wanted Dan Quinn fired. Like, I didn't want his ass to leave Houston as part of the team. Like, I want him fired that night when we lost Super Bowl. On the tarmac. Buy your own ticket home. But him and Shanahan, Shanahan was already gone anyway. But I mean, I don't know. I'm interested to see how you guys feel, like, as Charger fans, like, because I know you guys.
Let me say this first.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Like, the bros called this shit. When I'm watching the game, I'm saying, bro, this is all the shit the bros told us.
Yep.
This is everything they said on the show. If you go back and play that show, this is everything they said was wrong with the team. You saw unfold live. Staley and Lombardi, man.
Oof.
Man, if I had an AK-47, small room where they couldn't run around, I would get them, man. I would get them on behalf of you guys. It was frustrating, man. To not run that ball in the second half.
Yep.
I'm not the smartest person, but how?
Why? Yep.
You're not doing that, like why? Come on, dog. And it's for your fan base. It's for your city. It's for your state. Everything is on the line. I know y'all had to be how we was doing the shit. I was talking when we was up in the Super Bowl. Man, I got man. I'm talking about elderly people. I was cussing at elderly people in my phone. Like, you motherfucker. I told you, motherfucker. And then what happened, and I felt so bad for y'all just watching it. I was thinking about y'all, man. I went to sleep tossing and turning, just thinking about the shit y'all was going through. I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry, bro. It was hard to watch, man.
I didn't even know what to tweet. I didn't know what to text you guys. I just like, I mean, when I was
about to say sorry for your loss, as if somebody really died. Like,
I know.
I felt like somebody died.
I know.
Like, I'm sorry for your loss. You need anything?
Yeah. No doubt. Hey, Mike, I didn't show you this, but this is kind of what we thought of the Chargers here.
Man, that's hilarious. That's a child's drawing, buddy.
Yeah.
That is. Hey, come on, man.
That's exactly what That's exactly what I thought after the game. This is the exact thing that I thought about. And I was like, how perfect and fitting it was for the Chargers. Perfect looking on the first half, and then second half, whoa, it got real bad all of a sudden, my friend. So it was, man, it's frustrating to watch. Apparently some guy
lost it.
Yeah.
At what point in the game did y'all realize we could be in trouble? It was a point.
Third quarter.
Third quarter. Yep. Third quarter. Because we don't score well in the third quarter, period. And I remember thinking, actually, to be honest with you, the actual time I really thought is when Bosa was offsides. After we had that sack, we stalled the drive. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly what we did not need. And then we could do nothing in the second half offensively. I mean, 3 points the whole second half. And we missed a field goal. And he's missed 2 field goals all season, guys.
Yeah.
All season. And boy, what a time to lose one.
When he missed that, when he missed that first one, I kind of had a little sick feeling in my gut. I was like, oh no.
Yep.
And
I kind of felt like when they got that touchdown just before the half, I was like, they exposed us. They started playing quick, up tempo kind of offense on us, and we weren't doing anything to adjust. And you know, it was interesting. I watched a video where they said the difference between Staley and then the difference between Peterson, and it was the post game interview they had. Brandon Staley's like, well, what did they do? Well, he was asked, what did they do differently? Did they do anything differently? Staley's like, no, they didn't do anything differently. And then Peterson's like, no, we went up tempo and we just changed up the way that we played our offense. We played quick passes, getting small dink and dunks, and just get those little yards here and there, and basically just scored all over us. And that's kind of a sad thing, because I think that's the difference between an experienced guy that has been there, done that, and won one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Versus a guy that does not, first time being in the playoffs as a head coach. And it's hard to watch because I'm a big fan of Brandon Staley, but I'll say this, a lot falls on his shoulders, but a lot falls on him with the offense too. And Lombardi is definitely a how do I say, man, just holding back this team in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, the stat you brought
That
up
was the nicest way you could have put it, buddy.
Yeah, I was trying.
That was, and you see him pause.
I can
was trying. I was
I can go
gripping
through
these hands. I was. Oh, man.
I can go through the chat here and find about. I can go through the chat here and find about 17 different ways to put that.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah.
And that was definitely the nicest.
Yeah,
that was the nicest way to put it.
I tried, guys, but it's a hard thing to find. I mean, bottom line, the reason why we've had a lot of close games this year is because we cannot score bottom line in third quarter. That's what's basically allowing teams to get back in. Yeah. We can't score touchdowns and all. I think our last touchdown that we had was in the third quarter I want to say the Colts.
No. I think it was the Rams. It was the Rams.
Rams.
Game.
Oh, Rams game.
The Rams. Yeah, and then we didn't get
one that.
Yes.
Was like the Broncos game in like week 5.
Yes, week 5.
You can't do that. That's not winning football by any means. And the guy's got to go. And it's funny. There's somebody that posted in one of the Chargers Facebook groups. He said, "Man, after that game, I felt like I need to go to church, and I'm going to go there and like try to get some inspiration and clear my mind." And guess what? Joe Lombardi was at church. That didn't help anything. I saw Joe Lombardi there.
You'll be in a bad mood. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, it's like,
no, Jesus wasn't listening, buddy. Jesus was busy.
Nope.
Yeah.
Throw some holy water on that guy, dude. Yeah. Get him.
Well, but again, I would say this, right? And again, the thing about the NFL, and I've said this over and over again, if you are predictable, you're dead. Because the reality is Joe Lombardi's offense is all about spread, but he runs the same plays over and over again. He doesn't really switch up the plays. I'll give you another good example. The other time that I just thought about this right now when you said when I thought the wheels were going to fall off the train, when they did that jet sweep with Bandy. Yeah. They were practicing that with DeAndre Carter. DeAndre Carter was out of the game at that time. So Bandy ran it. He didn't even know what the hell to do. I think the timing was completely off. Yeah. But why did you run that play, Joe Lombardi, if you were having that play with DeAndre Carter? Know your personnel on the field and call the right plays. Call something different. You have something different to call. So
I have a question. Oh, no, go ahead.
Go for it. No, go for it.
Why did so y'all you like Staley, but you still want him gone?
I'll let you answer the question, James.
The thing about Staley to me is that Andrew and I chatted a lot about this. I said, hey, look, we feel he has created a better culture for our organization. And we feel like that we've gotten to a point of where we want to have a championship-based mentality, culture all around. We're getting guys that are experienced, guys that have actually won Super Bowls, a guy that, really you would hope that it would actually show up in this game. And it really did not show up in this game. But bottom line, we just feel like he's created a good championship culture. Now, once again, our ownership is way too cheap. And so everybody talking about like Harbaugh, talking about, Sean Payton. Dude, we ain't paying a guy 10+ mil a season. No way. No.
And a first-round pick, by the way. And we'd have to get
a first-round pick.
It would be for sure,
we'd have to get rid of our GM. I'm sure Sean Payton's going to ask for basically GM duties, so he's going to have full control of the team.
Yep.
Just the thing about it is like I think Brandon Staley's a very good leader. Now, once again, he is learning on the job, and that has been the theme for the Chargers in a very long time. Our past 3 head coaches, Mike McCoy, learning on the job, dude's out. Ironically, was the quarterback coach for the Jags last night, so there might have been a little bit of revenge on that game.
Yep.
Niners have basically our past coach Anthony Lynn as their running back coach. We ironically ended up losing that game too, and then. Now we got Brandon Staley, and he's, I think, a very, very good coach. I think he could do a great job. As you could see, that first half, crazy difference of how we looked. I mean, it was dominant looking all around. I just don't think he knows how to adjust enough, and that's where it's starting to be the exposing now. So,
how much those. I mean, Asante Samuel Jr., dude. I mean, like without him in that first half,
my God.
I mean, and I mean, I don't. It sucks for Staley that his first playoff was Peterson's got some brass ones, man. To call some of the plays that he calls, and I mean, like
he's gonna need 2 caskets when he dies. One for his balls and one for his body.
100%.
2 caskets.
For him. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Because I mean, like I mean, like you said, like Andrew, I think you said before, he'd been there, done that, won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
You know, and he just got out coached. I mean, you know, and then you know, if Trevor's not throwing the ball to you guys so much in the first half, I mean, you know, because y'all knew, I'm sure y'all knew, we know, I mean, that, you know, Jaguars got a pretty stout defense and they can play defense, and they've got some guys that can fly around there. So, I mean, you know, I honestly didn't think that their offense could come back that much in the second half like they did. And if they did, I figured, you know, well, you guys will score at least more than 3, which obviously it didn't happen. But yeah, I mean, that just like I said, just unfortunate timing for Staley. But I mean, it's something like this happens, almost always somebody goes. You know what I mean? Like it's so. I mean, because I mean, so I guess Lombardi would make the most sense, I guess, in this case.
Yeah, I think someone's got to be a fall guy, right? You know, no matter what.
Yeah.
And part of the problem too is we were playing not to lose the second half, right? There's a huge difference. Like
we've been there.
Yep. And you just go, oh no, we'll just keep running the ball. It's 2 o'clock. That's fine. I get that, but you still got to be aggressive and score some points.
Exactly.
And it's just frustrating. So I don't know. You know, I do think that Lombardi's gone. I think it's awesome. Do you still think Lombardi gets a head coaching job? No, he's definitely not going to be picked up.
He shouldn't. I mean. So I have a few thoughts though too. It's like number one, well, actually, let me show you this. This is something I found on Twitter here. Okay. I think this is perfect.
Man.
No. Here we go. Here we go. All-time classic video here.
Yeah.
Oh
no.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Most looking good in a bikini. So
looking good, man.
Oh my God, man, it's hilarious.
I share with you guys. I forgot all about it, but I guess y'all social media team screwed your asses weeks ago whenever y'all played us.
Yeah,
I mean, if anybody remembers, I mean, like I don't know if you have it, but there was a Waffle House ad that said like Waffle House. So they took out the W, and it was like 28% off 3 waffles or more. I mean, come on.
God.
Yeah, well,
they couldn't have. That was, I mean,
that's a low blow. Yeah, like we cursed ourselves from that. Karma's a bitch, right?
Man, they put it out there. Like it's like somebody, one of our boys, Savion. I put it on Twitter, and he was like, "Man, I take my remorse back." And I was like, you know, we feel bad for our guys, not so much for the organization for doing that. But we feel bad for our, you know, because obviously, you know, we've, you know, had to endure it ourselves.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this, like. Because y'all know the Chargers and the fans of just other teams were so lost when we seen that game. But since you guys know the Chargers, what for the rest of the fans, man, what do you think happened? We was confused watching it. Like what do in you guys' opinion? Because man, y'all understand the staff and the players. Like what happened?
I think Vegas happened. That's what I think. I think someone got a phone call and was like, "Look, you guys got to toss this game, and you know if you guys do, you're all gonna get $10 million in your pocket right now."
Cover the spread.
Yeah. There's just no freaking way that this could have happened, man.
No way.
Like we were so, dude. We had them so good at that first half. You know, like what was it? We had 5 turnovers that first half. We lights out, like everyone was playing like at the top level, like we should have had the entire freaking season. But it was a tale of 4 teams there. Like, you know, Chargers win on the top of the game, the Jaguars donkey punching, you know, and then and then it just flipped the script on both of us. And I was like, oh, it's just no way. I don't understand how this happened at all. Like I
think what happened at the halftime, all the Chargers that played, Bosa, everybody, they all took their uniforms off, and a high school team put on their uniforms and came out and played the second half. I think that's what happened.
Yes.
Or like a lower tier.
I love it.
Or lower tier college football team. I mean, because like it was literally ridiculous. It's almost like they forgot how to play football the second half. But I also would say this too. I think to more accurately answer your question, we were playing not to lose. And this coaching staff, I consistently have said this, they do not adjust the second half at all. If I was a Lombardi, I would go back and say, okay, we're doing this great. This is the defense are running. Let's script another 20, 30 plays. and then run these plays. But they did nothing. They did nothing. It was just sitting back, waiting, and let's just run the clock out. And that's just the wrong mentality, especially in a playoff game. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, in the one other side of it, I kept reflecting about last year and the way the season ended against the Raiders and us going 9-8, and where we basically had to find a way to be able to get our way back into the game. And we finally found a way to be able to tie it up, go in overtime, ended up losing in the last second once again on a game-winning field goal again.
Two field goals.
So basically, we have now had 2 seasons where Brandon Staley has basically ended the season same exact way in 2 seasons in a row. Basically, last second field goal, found a way to lose it and everything too. I just feel like this team is young. And I remember the one thing about when we hired this whole staff, I'm like, Lombardi's been around for a while, hasn't really been much of an offensive coordinator. He was living under basically Sean Payton's regime. He was an offensive coordinator with the Lions, only lasted a year and a half. For a reason, with a young Matt Stafford, by the way, too.
Yep.
Brandon Staley, he got hot with the Rams, got the number 1 defense. I mean, you got obviously arguably one of the best defensive tackles we've seen in the game with Aaron Donald, just a dominant force up front. And it was just and Ronaldo Hill, another guy too, our defensive coordinator too, young guy, very inexperienced. These guys just have not lived through enough of these painful situations or winning situations to really know how to be able to be a very, very good coach. So it's a hard lesson in a lot of different ways. What's up, new subscriber, dude?
Thank you.
That's what's up.
Yo.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
And I think you bring up a really good point too. And I thought about this morning as well too. One last thought, and then we'll pass to our esteemed friends here. I think there's something to be thought about when you bring in your buddies to do a job.
Yeah.
Because you're biased and you think, okay, my buddies are good. I think he needs to bring a new offensive coordinator in to change the offense to fit something around Justin Herbert. Same thing on the defense. Somebody completely different. I think Ronaldo Hill needs to go and Lombardi needs to go. Fresh eyes, fresh thoughts. And Staley needs to bring somebody else in to up the ante of this team because we're clearly not performing at the high enough level at this point. And that's the way I view it.
Well, and even
speaking on that too, though, if we bring in the bros, all right, I'm biased, okay? I will bring in the bros to do
100%.
a job. All right? So I
right.
might be biased. And I gotta say this, man, y'all lost, but John and I won because it's the only time that we had all 3 of the bros on at the same time.
No doubt.
We definitely took a W.
That is a good point.
Took a W.
There you go.
It's a big
so I understand that you guys are sad, but I am not, sir. Okay, I gotta tell you. Great time, buddy. But continue.
We just wish it was going to be coming on to recap a win. That's all,
Yeah, that's the only thing I wish for. Yeah.
And we wished for that for sure, And one thing I was going to bring up too, and I chatted a little bit about this, and I chatted that with my other brothers there, Kyle, Andrew. I don't know if you guys were in the same chat thread, but the thing about it is the one thing that I was going to say, and for some reason that didn't pop up, is the Chargers had, based upon win probability and everything. I mean, my thing is Brandon Staley last year was a genius on just going for it on 4th down. And I liked that. I liked the aggressiveness. And I think that's what Doug Peterson really ended up doing. Being an experienced guy, he was a little bit more aggressive as a head coach in this game. And Brandon Staley really hasn't been that way at all. So this tweet that kind of came out here, it says the Chargers had basically a negative 13.1% win probability added on 4th downs, mostly from kicking field goals on the 4th and goal, which we had 2 of those on 4th and goal ability. And I kept saying the entire time we were watching the game, we're in Ainsworth and downtown Phoenix. Field goals do not win games. Sorry.
Especially playoffs. Yep.
You could hit as many field goals as you want. But really, once again, 2 field goals that you hit, 1 touchdown neutralizes that. Simple as that. And if you have the ability where you're on the 4th and goal from the 4, 4th and goal from the 5, I don't know. If you don't make it, well, the guys got their back behind the wall. It's going to be a hard situation for them to make plays at that point. Go for it. Like literally one of those 4th and goals, 4th and 5s. If you got one touchdown out of that, this game would have been totally different. We would have won.
Yep.
We would have won. And so also increasing that, the Jaguars had a plus 24% win probability added on 4th downs by being aggressive throughout the game. Last year, the Chargers had a plus 128% win probability. Now, once again, I don't understand how that works, but basically they are plus 128% win probability added on 4th downs based upon what they've done. Maybe it's a 12.8%. I don't know whether maybe the guy missed a period there, but bottom line, being aggressive puts you in better situations. When you got your foot on their throat, keep it on their throat. Yeah. Keep it going. Don't let your foot off the gas. And that's literally what we did. And
like it's not just you guys, man. I can't understand how any team keeps doing this. It happens every season. Like we did it last year a couple of times. Yeah. And we Arthur Smith, it was his first year coach. So we were like, okay, so you gotta learn from this shit. Very first game this season against the Saints. Right. Same thing. We get up big, 17, I think, was it Mike, 17-point lead, something like that.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden we set back in this little soft zone. And it was just dink and dunk across the middle, 10 yards, 15 yards, and we didn't adjust. We just stayed in that little soft zone, get on offense, run 3 times, punt. I'm like, what the and then we lose the game. And I couldn't figure that out last night. I'm like, man, you see this happen all the time, and it never works out. Like being conservative and changing it never works out. Like you've got to, whatever was working in that first half, just keep it going, because that's I mean, and like this, it may sound ridiculous to some because if you're moving a little bit faster, you're not taking as much time off the clock. But if you're scoring points, it doesn't matter because you're just making that lead bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. So
sleep.
Yeah.
Yep. Put them to sleep.
Exactly.
I mean,
sometimes what I'm going to propose then, guys, we got 5 guys in the stream right here. We could be a coaching staff for an NFL.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sign us up. We got an offensive coordinator here, defensive coordinator, special teams. We got a head coach here. I mean, we're ready. We're ready, guys. Let's go.
See, I'll mess it up because I'm saying bomb on every play. We put 40 yards a play. So you got to reel me in sometimes.
You're playing Madden on every play.
I'm playing Madden on every play.
Going for it on 4th down every single time, no matter what.
No matter what.
And 2-point conversions every single time. Yeah.
Sometimes, man.
The hell with field goals. Hey, you know what?
No, but you have to be aggressive, man. Sometimes if you cooking something and it's good, man, every time you do it, it's good. When you try to add on some extra shit that like some cinnamon this time, it's nasty. You threw the whole thing off. So I feel like that's all they had to do was just cook what you normally do. It's working. It's working. It's good, man. We all eating it. To try to add, I'm gonna see if I add in some cheese and some cinnamon. Ugh.
Well, first of all, cinnamon is my favorite spice. I don't know why you put cheese and cinnamon on it, but I'm just saying.
Exactly.
The analogy.
It don't mix. It don't mix. That's what I'm saying. You just start adding shit that don't make no sense, and it just, man, it was hard to watch because logic would tell you otherwise. I'm not the smartest person, but just logic would be like, "What are you doing?" Normal logic. We're like, "What are you doing?" So it was hard to watch. But another thing I had for y'all was. Man, did Bosa have a personal problem with the ref? It just seemed like they was personal.
You know what? Here, I pulled that one up actually right over here. Let me show you this. Drop this up on here. Yeah, because I did want to talk about that right here. So this spot right here, let's go back to the beginning.
It's great that Staley runs and grabs his helmet for him.
I know that was awesome.
Yeah, I was like, "What are you doing, bro?"
Freaking spiked his helmet. Staley grabs it.
Be like, "Cool your jets, dude."
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like, he gives it back, and he gives it back to him, and then he just slams it again.
Again, yeah.
Damn. It's like, dude, wait. So, and this is an argument to me. Like, I feel like Bosa probably he took it personally about that penalty call for sure. But I feel like this is a reason alone for me that Staley has lost the locker room by far.
I agree with you. I agree. Yeah.
Because look,
did he go get it his second time? I wanted to see the rest of the video.
Yeah,
did he really?
He did. He picked it up again and probably gave it to him on the sideline as well.
Damn.
So to me, it just 100% shows that I think Staley lost the locker room by far, and they just don't have confidence in him as a coach. And honestly, I understand where James is saying is that I think we should, and people in the chat are saying that we should keep Staley, but I think it's all gone. It's his time with us is got to be gone, because that kind of mentality was going on right there can't happen. Like we can't see that. Like, I mean, we can see that can happen in the locker room, but if we see that on the field, it's done. So
well, I mean, even like Tony just put on there on the chat, the shit doesn't fly with Belichick. That even our coach Arthur. Like, I can't imagine that somebody wouldn't even attempt to do that with our coach. I mean, and that's and and he's Dan Quinn. Maybe that would have happened with Dan, but I mean, like, not Arthur, dude. Like, it's all about how you said it from the beginning. And I mean, like, it's when Arthur came in, it was like, I mean, any nepotism, there was anything was thrown out the window. Like, it didn't matter how long you've been a Falcon. It didn't matter how much you were making. It didn't matter that you started for 3, 4, 5. It didn't matter. Like, none of it. Like, you were all just as equal as the rookie coming in, and you had to earn the spot. 100%. And that was how he created it from day one. And like, after 2 years now, we've seen that. If nothing, I know we've had 2 years of 7-win football, and you've seen the culture completely change to where it's like every dude's bought in, every defender wants to take your head off. And it's just a different mentality, and that's what I don't see it every day like you guys do, but I don't see it just from what I see from Staley. Like, I don't see that type of like, and I know, I mean, he didn't have to be like Belichickian where he's just a dickhead in conferences and stuff like that. Because even Arthur, like in press conferences, like he's pretty surly when it comes to some of the questions, and like, he didn't have to be that way, but it's just that kind of mentality that he kind of, I guess portrays everyone else. But I know he had, obviously, coming from the Rams, it's like, you don't know. Obviously, a lot of players on that defense. I mean, you guys have a lot of good guys too. So, I mean, he's still calling the defense, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean,
for sure.
So I mean,
I think he's even been helping call some of the offensive plays too. I think midway through the season. In fact, again, we talked about this over and over again. We should have fired Lombardi on the bye week. Had Shane Day at least take over. Somebody different, right? That should have happened. So, that's an internal guy. So, it's pretty interesting.
Actually, I actually have a live look of the locker room after the game here. Actually, so of what happened here. There.
Let's see it. Pull it up here.
Oh, here you go.
Hey, this is hilarious.
He's got a machete underneath.
Man, I love you guys.
What did that guy do to piss them off that much?
Yeah, right.
Hiding up there, like, Jesus.
I don't know.
This is the best Chargers podcast. I gotta say,
Gotta
in the comments,
be.
You can't get this shit nowhere else. I'm sorry. Look around. You got my permission. Fucking look around. You won't get this shit nowhere else. Ball bros.
We keep it real.
Oh man, it's harsh. It's harsh.
I mean, look, this is honestly strike 3 for me for Staley. Because my thing is, obviously, we look at the Raiders game, a couple bonehead decisions there. I was like, okay, well, it's a first year coach. Let's just give him benefit of the doubt, And then there's been so many times that, like, I've probably had a heart attack this season, from some of these crazy calls, but then just everything here where he just, like you guys were talking about, he didn't adjust anything, like he just was just kind of doing everything, but then Doug Peterson adjusted everything. And so so I've been telling people too, this is now my third worst loss, like, in my head that I can remember for the Chargers playing of all time. So
what was the first 2? I'm dying to hear this shit.
This was pretty hard.
Man, what beat those?
What beat those? Well, okay, Super Bowl 1995 against the
when we actually got donkey punched.
Just literally got dragged up and down that field. It was literally like we were freaking what's the way that people used to execute people back in the day, where they were like, they would tie them to like a carriage and then just drag them up and down the streets and stuff like that.
Drawn and quartered or something.
Yeah, well, drawn quartered. I think that's where they got like tied on both their arms and legs, and just like they like that. It wasn't that bad. But the second one for me was the 2007 AFC Championship game against the Patriots, where we had our stellar 14-2 team. LaDainian Tomlinson, Phillip Rivers at the top of the game, and then Brady just freaking, did a hold my beer situation as well. So it's like,
damn Brady.
Damn Brady, dude.
We are so similar, man.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, very
similar. Our 99 Super Bowl is that
trauma.
way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We trauma bond.
I mean, I mean that should be a word. Trauma bond.
We trauma bond.
Hashtag trauma bond.
Hashtag trauma bond.
I mean it's true though. I mean, our 99 Super Bowl was the same way. We got our asses whooped by the Broncos. It wasn't even remotely close. But that didn't hurt me, obviously near as bad as the last Super Bowl. But I mean, I mean, I don't know that if we were doing a show then, Mike, I don't know that we could have done a show the next day. Man. So props to you guys for doing a show today. Because I mean, we were
I would have done it, but it would have been like me dangling from something. Like,
oh my gosh.
And then you could have done it.
Oh,
but no way. Y'all taking this shit. I will say this. Y'all are taking this very well. Y'all are taking this very well.
I mean, I think the truth is too. Yeah. We're pretty used to it. We have a 60 years.
That hurt, man. Come on, man.
We have very thick skins. It's like alligators on skins with cow hides and gorilla skins, like that on top of it. It's layers. It's layers of just.
Ask you this though.
Yeah.
Did like at the start of the game, did you all in your heart expect to win? Like you said, you felt good?
1,000%.
100%. 100%.
Like we had this.
Absolutely. I was like,
it was, pick after pick, fumbles. I mean, you're just thinking like, come on now. Like, ain't no way you're going to blow this.
Yeah, even before it, I knew.
At the start of the game. Before it started.
I was calm.
0-0. You felt good about it?
Yeah, I felt absolutely dominant before because we played the Jaguars earlier this year and they beat us like destroyed us, but we were a different team at that point. So and we got hot really right at the end of the season and we had most of our star players back, whatever, sure, minus Mike Williams yet again. But I was like, that didn't matter. We were still going to make the win. And what mattered was our defense needed to step up, and it sure did that first half. But after that,
it was
kind of go ahead.
It's tough to, I don't know, the whole thing. I guess I'm still trying. Once again, Mike, I'm really trying to find my words.
I see it.
Just let it go, brother. Just let it go.
Yeah.
No,
let it fly, buddy.
Let it loose.
Out of your Falcon mind.
Let it.
Out of your Falcon mind, buddy. Go
out of your Bolton mind here, baby.
Out of your Bolton
mind. Go ahead, buddy. Just let it rip. Yeah. Hey, you have a pass today. You got a pass.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that, when I came into the game, I kept saying to Andrew, I was like, and we drove down to downtown Phoenix to go watch the game with a bunch of other crews out there. I said, man, my stomach has been in knots all day, and I just don't know what to expect. And when we got that first pick, 2 plays later, we got a touchdown. I'm like, yo, here we go. Next pick. All right, Asante's got 3 picks. Oh, man, ain't no way they're going to find a way to do this. And then it changed when they got that. For me, it changed once they got that touchdown just before the second half. And then I was like, dude, we're starting to slow down now. We're starting to play a little bit casual. We're not trying to make any crazy decisions or anything like that. We're not trying to go for it on 4th down and everything. It was just one of those things that it was the epitome of chargering and just watching it just decline. Going back to Kyle when he chatted about the 14-2 season when we ended up losing to the Patriots. I was at that game in San Diego and I was there thinking man, we got this. Halftime's feeling good. But then there was this weird feeling that all of a sudden came sweeping through the entire stadium.
Yep.
And I'm like, something changed, dude. I don't know if there's some voodoo going on in that Patriots locker room or something like that, selling their souls to the devil or something like that. And bam, all of a sudden the game just changed. We got a pick, great pick. Oh, fumble it, give it right back to Tom Brady. Tom Brady goes downfield, scores a touchdown, and it's just pretty much charging at its all-time best once again. And so really what Kyle kind of brings up, that this is probably one of the worst, I'd say top 3 losses in Charger history. Yeah, this will probably be one of them for sure.
Yeah, this has got to be. It's got to be number one. I mean, we talked about Nate Keating missing. You were at that game.
Yeah,
I remember calling you right
game.
after that game. I remember calling you. You were so destroyed, dude. You man, I could tell. Voice was cracking. Everything, dude.
Oh shit! Damn. Yeah. I've been there.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we were in for our experience, for anybody that wants to know. So me and Mike were just, I mean, we could, the first half of the Super Bowl, we were unbelievably. I mean, like Robert Alford intercepted Brady, returned for a touchdown. Mike texted me saying, "Well, we're doing it, man. We're doing it." Finally. And that was the last text we had for about a week. We didn't speak after the game. We didn't talk the next day. I'll be honest, I didn't want to listen to talk radio. It took me like a couple of days to even want to listen to anything to do with the game. I didn't watch it. I've never watched a replay of the game. I've seen like clips of it, but I still cannot even watch it. And my son, who was like 5 at the time, he went to bed at 28-3. And he was like, "Oh, we're good," you know. And he wakes up the next morning. We wake up and he's like, "Hey, what was the final score?" I was like, "Dude, we lost." And he started crying. And I was like, "Damn, I'm a terrible father. Like, I need to tell you to go root for somebody else. Like, this is not how I can't send him to school crying because the damn Falcons lost. Like, what am I doing?" But I mean, it was the same deal, man. Like, we were so just jacked in the first half, and that's why I wanted Dan gone, because I was like, dude, like, in this game of all games, like, this shows me your decision making. This shows me, like, if you can't adjust to what's going on right in front of you, and you hear the calls coming down from the booth, right? You hear Shanahan making these calls when we should have iced the game and ran the ball 3 times, and dude's still calling to pass it. You can say, "Hey, no, I'm the head coach. Stop. No, we're not doing that. We're going to run the ball. We're going to kick the field goal. We're going to ice this damn game and call it a day." Didn't do it. Like, okay, dude, no, that you got to go. Then that tells me everything I need to know about. That's what worries me about Staley, is people looking at it the same way. Like, damn, dude, if you got to outcoach that much in the second half, and you can't adjust to what's literally happening in front of you, like what their offense is doing, which is, like you said, Andrew, was just boom, 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 quick offense, dink and dunk. Like, you gotta reel that in, man. You're the defensive guy, man. You've got to change that up. And
then they brought him in.
Yeah, exactly. And then the offensive side, I mean, of course we've already hit on it. You got to stay aggressive. It was just, I mean, like I said, man, it was such a freaking PTSD deja vu for myself. And that's why I started texting you guys. I was like, oh no, this is not happening.
This is why though, man. If you are a true fan of the team, not a Wild Wings fan. I don't mean that you bought a jersey and you got the wings and you didn't. I don't mean that shit. You're a real fan. You feel like you a part of the team.
Right.
Like you on the team. So when you think you about to win, I was crying like a girl, because I'm thinking like it was like a lifetime achievement award.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of this team since a child. So I'm thinking we finally did it. I made it.
Yeah.
We finally did it. And then when it get taken from you, it's a rage that knows no bounds, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I mean, you just feel like this cannot be happening to me. Like, and you're not on the team, but you think this can't be happening to me. Like, this is happening to me. And that's why I felt for y'all so bad, because I thought y'all had it. I thought y'all was going away with it. And they got to be feeling just, and that is an awful feeling when you're a real fan. That shit ain't funny or not. Like, you don't want to text. It's not funny. You don't want to see no memes. You don't think it's funny at the time. And it could be funny today. That shit wasn't funny yesterday.
Yeah,
it hurt. Hurt. It hurt you to your heart. Like, it's like seeing your like child, man, like wreck a bike. It don't feel good. Like that's an awful feeling. Or seeing like your dog get hit by a car. It is terrifying. It's horrifying to watch. And it was horrifying because it was a slow burn.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. No, and it was a slow burn, and I was like, I had to be high for this, but I can't smoke weed right now. Yeah, you had to be high to get over that. If you don't smoke, you had to drink after that or smoke some weed. You had to do something after you watched that. Like, you couldn't just go to bed.
You need a mind-altering drug.
You had to get out your head, or you gonna start something with like your wife or your girlfriend. You just been like shut up for no reason.
Exactly.
She being nice to you, and you being mean. So I fully get it. I felt so bad for y'all yesterday, man. I really did.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should get to some of these questions. So I know, and we got some good comments as well. So let's start rapid firing through these as well too. So We got
I was going to say one thing. Any given Sunday, by the way, guys, the Bills are only beating the Dolphins by 3 points right now.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Watching this thing, yeah.
Guys, I mean, they the Dolphins have their third string quarterback in this game, and that's a thing.
Rookie
if Mike
quarterback.
McDaniels finds a way to win this game against the Bills, it's a
That's
young guy
something.
that figured it out. Young guy that figured it out and knows how to adjust. I mean, Mike McDaniels, by the way, is I think one of the funniest coaches in the NFL we've ever seen.
What the heck? Yeah,
bro, that was a sneak punch too. Like you see how he sneaked this right there.
Yep.
You see, if y'all paying attention, he said it's a young guy that knows how to adjust. Man, that was a throat punch. If y'all was paying attention to that,
Yeah.
He snuck that in there, but it was a quick one.
right.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's the thing. It's any given Sunday, man. Anything can happen, and that's man. It's crazy because Mike McDaniels, there was talk about him getting fired too.
Yeah.
If he didn't make the playoffs, and I'm like, dude. I mean, it's wild to think about. You'd be thinking you'd have him for 1 year and then just be like, dump the guy off, man.
And your main quarterback gets hammered and has multiple concussions, and
right. I mean, wild, dude, wild.
But that's football, though. So let's go to some predictions here, right? So new GM, we thinking about letting Telesco go. I mean, I know Francisco talked a little bit about hiring Marty's son and bringing Pep Hamilton as OC. Pep makes some sense. I mean, he knows Herbert, right? He's done a pretty good job, right? I mean, but this is pretty funny too. Tarn Feather, Brandon Staley, right?
Wow, God damn.
A little throwback.
I was thinking the medieval punishment. God damn.
That's some bad stuff. No, but it's interesting. I mean, again, maybe we should talk about this. I know everyone keeps talking about Sean Payton. Look, I just don't see this. I don't see her now. I guess that's the other question, right? And the one thing I have really liked about Brandon Staley's done a good job of getting this ownership, the Spanos family, to spend money on this team, which we've never seen in the past. Yeah. Bringing in Mac, bringing in J.C. Jackson, but you got to pay Peyton Manning or Sean Payton, $10 million a year potentially, 5-year contract, $50 million guaranteed, and give away a first-round pick.
That's a lot. Yeah.
I got a name for you guys. You can tell me if that's crazy or not. And he's been interviewed a lot and hadn't gotten a job in the last few years. But Eric Bieniemy, man.
Yep, Bieniemy. Yep.
If he's fired, I mean, that's an offensive guy right there. I mean, worked out pretty well with Mahomes, obviously. And I know he's interviewed for a few jobs already. I think the Colts, and I can't remember the other team he interviewed with, but I mean,
yeah, I sent him my resume as the offensive coordinator for the Chargers.
We'll
see what happens. I mean, I don't know what's happening here. So, I mean,
they posted on Indeed or Monster or
yeah.
Social media, LinkedIn.
Right.
Hey,
that's right.
LinkedIn with the goose. What do you think? I got some ideas. I got some plays.
I set mine in as with a Hallmark card, and I wrote it in crayons and stuff too.
Perfect. Yeah, you got it. I can call offense.
Yeah.
With a smiley face.
I can coach. That's all I said.
Yeah.
I sent him over a jib jab interview. You guys know what jib jab is? Head or whatever.
Yeah.
Dancing around, Oh,
no, but again, maybe we should talk also about the coaching staff. What do we think, guys? I know this is pretty much what everyone's talking about. What do we think should happen? Right? I mean, Evan, that's pretty much what everyone's talking about in the whole chat is, do we bring Staley back? Do we not bring Staley back? Sean Payton. Maybe we should go to our guests first and then just go around. We'll do a little round robin and get everyone's opinion on it, because it seems to me like that's what everyone's wanting to know. Are we bringing them back? What do we think?
Man, I am dying to hear this shit from y'all. I don't have I wanted to ask you all this on the show. Man, you the general manager. You all know the staff. You have the strengths. You got the weakness. You are the general manager. What would you guys do? Because part of it is like, I understand what you're saying with the culture. You change the culture and you want that. You need that. Is that worth, maybe like, man, I'm being stagnant? Because, I mean, he changed the culture. But if he stays, is it worth the culture? Or if he leaves, are you trying to win? Like, what would you guys do? I don't have an opinion on it. I'm not a Charger fan, but I would love to know. But yeah, I would love to know. I'm dying to hear this from y'all.
It's almost different from us because, like, when the coach, obviously we had a first-time head coach, and we were in a complete rebuild, tear down. Matt Ryan was out the door type of situation. Whoever walks into you guys already has a quarterback. I mean, has some offensive weapons, has some damn good
Yes.
defensive pieces.
Some
I mean, you're
damn
walking
good defense.
into a good team. So, like, I get
maybe
that.
playoffs next year.
And I totally
like
get the
easy.
sentiment. I totally get the sentiment that you don't like. People don't want a first-time head coach. I get that completely, but that doesn't mean that they can't be successful. That just means like they can use the talent they've got better than what's currently happening, right? And if they can get the locker room, if they can get those guys bought in, I mean, it's not like you're walking into guys like a bunch of. I mean, these are a lot of like Khalil Mack, Bosa. These are veteran guys who like they just want somebody that they can to lead them. You know what I mean? Like that's what they need. They don't need. They don't have to be pumped up and like they don't need any rah guys, anything like that. They just need somebody with some balls that's going to go in there and kind of like, now, like I said, the culture may be just fine. So I don't know from the outside looking in, but just somebody that's just going to create that type of atmosphere for them. But I mean, there's also something to be said for people wanting experience. Well, there's a reason why those guys aren't employed at the moment too. Like if you're getting a retread head coach, he may have been there and not done that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a
good one.
So I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, like you can have all the head coaching experience in the world. Doesn't mean that you're going to be a good one. Like you've been fired, you've been let go. Like there's a reason why you don't have a job. You know what I mean? So
Well, I think you bring up a good point, right? And I do think also like a Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton really wants to be the head coach of the Chargers because NFL Network is right down the road from the stadium. They're in the same damn parking lot. So it's an easy transition for him when he decides not to be a coach anymore, move to the NFL Network and get paid even more. It's super simple for him.
That's cool. Yeah.
I mean, and that's easy, right? That's why you'd also want, I don't think.
Bro, all your fans are waiting on this right now from y'all three. I just want you to know I could read the comments. They all waiting to see what y'all say about the question. So I'm dying to hear this shit.
Okay, here's my prediction. This is what I think. First, I think they're going to keep Staley. I know a lot of people are going to be frustrated to hear me say that, but $4 million contract. Still got 2 more years left. He's not going to get an extension. I said if he had won a game, he probably would have gotten an extension, but he's not going to get it. I think Spanos is a little too cheap to go out and get Peyton or anybody else. Okay. I do believe they will fire Lombardi, and I do believe they'll fire Ronaldo Hill. That's my prediction. Now, you need a fall guy. I mean, and if Brandon Staley wants to keep his job, I promise you they're going to sit him down and say, we got to make some changes. But again, they got to bring in somebody like a Fangio or Pep Hamilton. I love those 2 choices from Zach Vincent right there. Because Fangio is fantastic. Fangio is the guy that got Staley into the NFL. And Hamilton knows Herbert, right? And he's done a great job. And he could simplify the offense a little bit more. And I just think that'd be a really good match.
Yep.
In my mind. So I don't know. That'd be great. That was a good one.
Somebody brought up Ejiro Evero, yeah.
Yep.
I can never say that dude's name, but
that's who we wanted for defensive coordinator, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
but dude, he's a stud, and I mean, he came from the Rams and everything, so it's kind of that same system. The thing is, though, it's just going to be the same old thing because that's also where Brandon Staley came from too. I mean, I kept talking about Fangio coming in as a defensive coordinator just because it's like, hey, you got Sensei now with you with the apprentice basically. And he would be able to have both of these really good defensive-minded guys together. And I think that would be a phenomenal move to be able to make that choice. Now, offensive coordinator, somebody brought up Shane Steichen to be able to even have him as a head coach. Now, I don't foresee Brandon Staley getting fired. I will say I read a tweet that I guess they're going to allow the media to go into the locker room today, actually in about 2 minutes, and to be able to kind of interview some of the players and everything too. And it's not a Brandon Staley conference or whatnot. Brandon Staley will not be there to be able to chat with anybody. So there is a little bit of a fuel of fire here where did they make a move already? Or are they telling them, hey, you got to kick rocks already or what? So it's going to be interesting to see. I just don't see the Chargers moving on from them. But I do think that if we just fortify positions, the offensive coordinator, 100%. Lombardi needs to go. We need to find somewhere or another to get rid of that dude because that dude has been an absolute nightmare to be able to deal with all season. I mean, just let alone just for the third quarter ability to score touchdowns is a reason to get fired. You can't allow one quarter to not score.
Too predictable. He runs the same damn plays over and over again. Same plays. I can talk about it forever. I beat him like a dead horse, man. So what's your thoughts, Kyle?
Come on, Kyle.
I got something pulled up for you. This is a live look.
Look, I knew he was coming with something. I knew this. I was waiting on this.
Live look of the Chargers front office right now. Here you go. So yeah. So that's the Spanos family right there.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the head coaches right there. Yep.
This is a great scene.
Yep.
Get out of here.
I love it. This is my favorite show ever, man. I love it. I got all the DVDs.
Get it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. He said, "Can you see this?"
Yep.
That is exactly it.
Get out.
You out.
Staley's gone. Lombardi's gone. Ronaldo Hill's gone. All of them gone. Clean sweep. I don't care. I'm done.
Yeah.
Clean house.
Yes.
Yep.
House.
Get them. Well, and the one thing about it, and you start hearing, and I'm hearing that Sean Payton is kind of putting together this all-star coaching staff, and Fangio was a part of his all-star coaching staff too.
Yep.
So, the thing about adding somebody like that and bringing in, I mean, I do not foresee the Chargers moving on from Staley at all.
Yep.
Like, I don't see that happening. Now, it sucks to hear that, but I think he just needs a more experienced coaching staff around him to really help him out. Sean Payton is basically under the Lombardi idea. Well, I should say it's the vice versa. Lombardi came from Sean Payton, so you could kind of get maybe the potential same type of offense with him. And to be honest, Lombardi might probably stick around if Sean Payton came to the Chargers. But what I'm basically saying here, guys, is that if Fangio came over here, it'd be pretty much the same system that Staley is basically running right now. It's just a different mind, a guy that knows what he's doing. So basically what I'm just trying to say, guys, is that I don't think we're going to make any changes in the sense of head coaching position. I think just add a lot more fortifying some of these positions. Defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator for sure are going to be the key here. So who knows what's going to happen? Maybe it's going to be something we're going to hear about today. Like I said, their media is going to be going into the locker room today. I mean, is it today or is it going to be Monday? I don't know. Or is it sometime next week when he meets with the ownership? Who knows? Or maybe I saw somebody said that Brandon, it was a picture, I think, from the movie The Hangover. And it was talking about how, if you guys heard about Cliff Kingsbury and how he got a one-way ticket to Thailand after he got fired, he just bounced. And so it was him and it was two of the characters from The Hangover, and they were out in Thailand or whatever. And they said Brandon Staley and Cliff Kingsbury hanging out in Thailand together. And, he's got a beat up face because he got punched in the face or whatever. And one's playing the guitar or whatever they're doing. But either way, that could be Brandon Staley. All of a sudden he could just be gone and one-way ticket to someplace and see you later, man. But
well, I think
there you go. There it is. Kyle was ready on that.
I told you, man. Kyle gonna come with it every time. Yeah,
he's about it. Yeah. But I think this will be a really interesting test for our ownership, the Spanos family, right? Because I'll say this right now, they have to make a tough decision. I mean, we're fans, and we want what we want, right? But again, it's a business, right? You have to think about that for a second. This is a business decision for them.
Yeah.
You bring in someone like a Sean Payton, you're talking about a lot of cheddar going out the door, guaranteed money, and they haven't done that in the past. So how committed are they at this point, right? So the one thing I will say is I have seen them be more committed now. So I'm excited to see what they do. It's their time to shine, in my opinion. What are they going to do?
I agree with you.
Well, here's the you're right. It's a business decision, but you know what? You got to spend money to make money, baby.
You have to bring to make a theme. You know what I mean?
Right. Look, we ain't gonna lie. Look how many people became Patriots fans because of how many times they were winning. Before Belichick and Tom Brady, they were a nothing team. They were just as
god awful franchise.
Yeah, they were a god awful franchise, but they started winning championships and they started getting to those games and they paid for players to get there and stuff, and they made it work. And so because of that, they are now they tripled the value of their team. They ran with it. And so that's what Spanos needs to do. He needs to get his head out of his ass and freaking open up that bank account and then pay for some motherfuckers to get this shit done.
That's what I'm saying. Let it out.
Man, y'all have the branding down back with the logo and the uniform and the talent and the young players. Y'all could go branding wise, like he said, triple triple what they are now if you thinking. But like I agree with you, it's ownership's time to shine. We're gonna see what you do. But I would tell you something that I didn't expect. Part of you guys, a small part of you guys, believes in Staley.
Yeah.
Part of you, I can see it. Like part of you think he just need a little tweak, a little help. I can kind of feel that from you guys.
Because I would say this, the thing, and Aether's talked about this a lot, right? The thing about Staley is I always think a head coach needs to inspire a team, right? Okay. Yeah. Now the argument is, did he lose the locker room? Well, you got to ask yourself that question. I don't know that he has, but I know obviously Bosa was pissed off. Yeah. But what he's also done is he's called the plays, and he obviously got involved with the offense as well. He's got too many hats. He's doing too much. He needs to disseminate that and have somebody else run that for him. Because Ronaldo Hill wasn't doing anything. I mean, I don't even know what the hell he was even doing. Yeah, he was probably running drills for them or whatever, but that's it. So, yes, I think he did a good job being a head coach, but he did a bad job delegating, right? So he needs some more people around him.
I got you.
But he's kind of a ride or die type of guy, right? I mean, he's like, no, we're lucky to have Lombardi. And I'm like, God, we're not lucky to have Lombardi. Lombardi needs to get Tanya Harding. We need to crack a leg, you know?
Yeah.
Don't let him on that ice. Forget about it, dude.
Well, I mean, he's going to – I would imagine, like, if he's retained for next year, like, I mean, he's not going to necessarily be on the hot seat, but I'd imagine if it's a first-round exit next year with the changes that are made, then it's going to be like, okay. Because, you know, y'all know how the NFL is, man. When you've got such a short window and you've got a quarterback but by the way, when is Justin getting paid? When is that coming up? That's going to be soon, right?
It could be this offseason.
This offseason, he's got to get paid.
Yeah, they could do the negotiations this season,
Okay, so I mean, yeah, so I mean, when you've got a small window, when you've got that, we know. I mean, like with Ryan, I mean, and it's a tricky situation with the quarterbacks, man, because when you pay him this huge chunk of change, man, it's like we did a thing on our show not long ago because when we finally got Desmond Ridder in to start after 12 weeks or whatever it was, we're all hoping like hell he hits because we're paying him $1.2 million a year. You know what I mean, for the next 3 years. So, and we look back at the last 20 years, it was like Mahomes and Brady were the only two quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls with like $30+ million contracts per year, because it does what it does to the rest of the team, like what they can sign, what they can't sign, stuff like that. So when you pay a quarterback like that, your talent evaluators for the draft has got to be just hitting each one. Those free agent pickups have got to be spot on because if you're not, I mean, like we did some stupid shit. We extended Julio before he even had to be. We paid Devonta Freeman.
We probably paid the mascot. We probably extended like the mascot. We were doing dumb shit.
Oh my God, it's like throwing out money to ridiculous things. So that's what got us in this spot we were in. So that's what. It's like that's the decision they have to kind of make. It's like, okay, like if we keep Staley, then how long do we gonna, we're gonna let like this next year? Is it gonna be like you have to get a first round win, and you fight like hell and you lose maybe in the second round, or like what's the standard? Because you want to see progression, right? That's what we keep saying about our team. Like we just want to see progression from year to next. And
bro, y'all got it next year, man.
Yeah,
I'm trying to tell you, y'all got it next year.
With a new OC, I think.
With a new OC, we need something.
I agree with
John.
100%. And again, this is an interesting point, C-Dog. Spanos Sabrok. I mean, I remember there was some discussions around that a long time ago that what was his sister wanting a bunch of money and she was all pissed off, and he's saying the Spanos family's broke. Look, you got to. It would be very interesting to see. Bezos wants to get a team. Interesting to see what happens there.
My God, can you imagine?
Man. And a guy like that could step in and just blow money left.
Dude,
get that Amazon money. Hell yeah!
Get that Amazon money.
Prime.
You can buy whatever you want at that point, dude. You can get anything and everything.
You will have players next day.
Yeah, exactly right.
You did the next day. You know? Hey, so I got another one for y'all. I'm not like you want to
next day player delivery services.
I'm trying to tell you,
put them on Prime, baby.
Prime membership. The next day, you get strippers. You can have anything you want.
Okay.
The next day. But here's a great question for y'all.
Wow.
So here's what I have for y'all. I heard y'all been talking about the coaches. Are you not blaming any of the players for what happened yesterday?
No. So to me,
we definitely are. We definitely are too.
Bosa was. I think Bosa. If you were to blame a single person, I'd say Bosa, 100%.
Bosa,
because that one penalty, the offsides penalty, that was huge. That would have stopped the drive, no matter what. Done. Again, I think that was a shit call, anyways. But secondarily, him throwing his helmet down, getting angry, gave that 2-point conversion away. and then Dicker missed the field goal, which is like, good God, guys, like how could this have gone off the rails even more, right? And so, but again, I still think it boils down to, if you had to blame the coaching staff, we came back the second half playing not to lose, right?
Yeah.
That's the mindset that does not win games, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so that's 100% coaching, right? So
I got
how's the talk around Justin today, or like in Chargers world? Like, is anything negative, or just like, no, that's
Please
not on
don't tell
him?
me they dragging Justin.
No.
I don't think anybody jumped on him.
No,
I mean, let me look it up. I think they actually are pretty dragging him, to be honest.
For what?
The thing about Justin is he's a generational talent. He's fantastic, right? And again, I've always said that Lombardi has held him back, right? And so, well, I don't think it's Justin Herbert's fault in any way, shape, or form. Again, I think it's largely the play calling and just the mindset coming out of the halftime. Again, we turned into a high school team, right?
Yeah.
No,
I got switch to jersey.
Yeah, 100%. They switched jerseys, man. I'll tell you what. Yeah, man.
Okay, wait. I actually got another one for us, for Justin Herbert.
No,
there we go.
This one's a good one. This one's a good one.
Man. This is Justin Herbert's first playoff appearance. He's really excited to be here. Just it's a little bit longer. He's excited. Yeah. So he's number 9. He's number 9. Just remember.
Number 9. Here you go. Outside lane. Here we go.
Here you go. Hey,
oh.
killing.
Oh, that's
damn! Right off the bat.
Come on,
I know what time
that
it
wasn't Justin. Come on, man.
So happy being there. Golly.
Hey, that wasn't Justin. You can't blame Justin for that.
No. Yeah, I mean,
Travis
honestly,
Etienne had 20 carries and Austin had 13. If you just look at that stat line, you would think that it was swapped of the team who was playing from the back, from losing, and you can't do that. But they should have been like running him. They should have had some creative play calling. How y'all say it should have been better than that. Like, you don't play to lose because then you end up losing.
Yeah, Eckler's such an underrated guy across the league.
Yeah.
I think he should be utilized so much more in that offense.
Yeah, he does.
At least 20 carries. At least 20 carries, man. Minimum.
Well, and I think he's got now 40 touchdowns in the last 2 seasons now as a running back. And it's such a scat back, but such a wide receiver hybrid type running back guy. And he's an absolute stud. Absolute stud. Even the touchdown that he got where he just seems like he was just bearing. Well, he's got 2 touchdowns for that last game, but the guy has such a low center of gravity, and he has such strong legs.
It's a bowling ball.
Oh, he is a straight bowling ball. I mean, he's an absolute stud. If you've ever watched his workouts of him in the offseason, I mean, this guy is an absolute just rock. He's an absolute rock, and what a stud, man.
Yeah.
But I wanted to bring at this Azma. Is it Azima? Oh, I don't know wherever it went, but he brought up that, hey, we should bring in Frank Reich as the offensive coordinator, and then Vic Fangio as a defensive coordinator.
Yep.
I think that would be a great choice, in my opinion.
That's a good one.
Great choice.
That was a hell of a good one. Yeah.
That would be amazing. Because, I mean, once again, that brings some veteran leadership, some guys that have been there. And I mean, I'm not saying they won a lot of Super Bowls or anything like that, but it's guys that have done it and been around and been head coaches too, by the way. So now you got 3 head coach minds in the organization. And I think that would be solid. And Frank Wright, he was with the Chargers some years ago with Phillip Rivers and had one of his best seasons with Phillip Rivers. So
he's with Peterson and Philly too.
I'm going to bring up an interesting thought too. I remember when things were going pretty bad for the Chargers, and they kept asking Brandon, say, "What are you doing to get your team through this? And who you calling to get advice from? Winning, losing? Did you call Sean McVay, Rams guy, head coach, and yada yada?" And he said, "No, I've just been really talking to my coaching staff," and I think that illustrates a problem, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Because he's focusing on what's in front of him and what's around him, and not getting outside influences into the team, right? Because a guy like a Vic Fangio would think differently, because Vic Fangio hired him. Mm-hmm. Got to wonder if he'll ever want to come back as his defensive coordinator. I think that's a little bit of a kick in the dick. But at the end of the day, my point is, you have to ask yourself this question, right? Having somebody have a different view on it is a good thing. And right now, I think he's focused so much in-house, he's a bit blind. Yeah. Right? That's another thing that I kind of sit back and I thought about that a lot a couple of days ago, and I thought, man, that could be what's holding this team back as well too. So, yeah, here we go.
Where do y'all get this insight from? Where do you get it from?
My brain. Well, I've been a manager before too, right? And a lot of times too, you have to sit back and ask yourself this question, right? Like, because it's too easy to be blinded and think this is exactly what's right. You need an outside influence to say, hey, look, this is where you're screwing up. And then you sit back and think, okay, you're right. Let's make some changes. And so that's where I think he might be having some struggles as a head coach, right?
Yeah.
So, my thought.
That's tough right there from Aaron.
Ooh,
damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Hey, by the way, Bills, Dolphins, 34, Bills,
31,
Dolphins,
right?
31 right now in the beginning of the fourth. Well, 10 minutes, 53 seconds left. Once again, guys, man.
My God.
Dude, it's a ride, dude. It's playoffs are a ride, man. Your records don't mean anything at all.
No,
and it's just being hot and being. Once again, I feel like we lost that game just because of experience. Purely, that's all it was. We lost because
totally
they had a head coach that's done it before, and we definitely did not. So
the other thing too, you have to remember too, they had nothing to lose at that point. I promise you, what he said in the locker room was, guys, go out there and play. Just why are you stressing yourself out at this point? Just go play the game. All the pressure was then on the Chargers, and they came out with a completely different mindset. Oh, we got this in the bag. Let's wrap it up. Let's just put this baby to bed and move on to the next one. And that's a different mindset. Again, I play competitive sports the same as James. I play softball, I play pickleball, and mindset is a big part of everything, right? It is 90% of your success as a player, as a coach, and that's huge. And again, the mindset was just playing not to lose, and they lost. They gave it up, right? So that's a problem.
Disconnected.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. That's the truth. They came out with a different mentality, and that's really what it is. So, hey, by the way, I wanted to chat a little bit about the Falcons, guys. I know we've been chatting a lot about the Chargers, kind of dabbling a little bit about the Mike. What's that face about, man?
We thought we were over.
I wanted to just ask about Desmond Ridder, man, and what you guys thought about him, kind of how he ended the season, because he seemed like he ended the season on a good note, in a sense. What's your guys' thoughts on him?
Before I answer that, I think that I have a question for you guys that you guys have to answer like live on this show, because I'm disturbed. Okay, I heard something and I said I gotta ask the Ball Bros. It's some things that, as a fan of a team, you have to answer for, even though it's not your fault. That you didn't do it, you didn't have nothing to do with it, but you have to answer for. And you guys have to answer for this, okay? What is this?
Oh God!
You have to answer.
Go Superchargers.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, isn't it?
Chargers, San Diego.
Yeah.
These guys have a disco song, song for when you score a touchdown. It is 2023.
Yep.
Man, what are you doing, guys?
Pretty bad.
Where's that from?
Hey, actually, don't go back to that video. I think we actually sang one of those songs. A cappella style. That was an unmitigated disaster.
Super cringy.
But that was like a real fight song. That was like a real fight song. Like that one.
Yeah, man. San Diego Superchargers.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yes.
It was hilarious. But man, Ridder, man, me personally, I was waiting on that because of energy wise. I don't think that you have all these young cats and then like an old quarterback, especially like a guy who I deem as incompetent. I don't even view him as competent. Like I view him as like I said, it's a plain hot dog. It's like I eat it if ain't shit else to eat, but I don't want it. So I don't want the dude on our team. To me, he was incompetent. I seen him. Oh man, it's just too much. But man, Desmond, I thought if all the dudes on the team are these rookies or like young first year or like your second year, I say you cap the head on the snake with a dude that's young. So we keep the whole young energy and we see what happens. And I think he played. I think he just showed he was competent. I don't think that he had the span to where, oh, I'm gonna be impressed. Because the same thing I told John, if he just shit the bed, it's still too small of a thing for me to say, oh, he just sucked forever. But if he go out and he just kill it, that's still too small of a thing to say, oh, he gonna be the next, John Elway. I'm not doing any of that. It's only 4 games. It was only a few games, so I can't tell. But what I say is he looked competent. He looked like he could read. He looked like he wrote. He looked like he could breathe air and drink water. And that's all I wanted from my quarterback the whole season, is you look like you could cross the street without help. And he looked like he could cross the street without help. And he looked like he did like the basic. He could go through his reads. He can throw deep. He can throw short. He could do the check down. He was competent. And that's what and like John said, just for the price point alone, man, I was explaining to John, man, I had a blue couch in my house. It was awful, man. It was a bright blue couch. It didn't go with shit in the house, but it was paid for. And so when I'm like, man, I could swap out the blue couch because, oh, it's hideous. But I could get a motherfucking flat screen TV, a stripper pole, which I got, right? I could spend this money on other things if I just keep the blue couch for the price point. And I think you do that. You give them a chance for the price point alone. If you could pay $1.3 million for your quarterback, you got to give him a chance. So I'm fully on board with that just for the price point alone. And he looked competent, man. He didn't look amazing, but he didn't look shitty. He looked.
This is a good question here. So I know Aether asked this question for you guys specifically. You believe in your number one quarterback, or are you going to draft another one? Right. So
John,
no, we're not drafting another quarterback. They're going to let. We drafted 8, so. Young is going to go to I would imagine Houston, either Young and Stroud. Well, honestly, Stroud has not declared yet. He's got like 2 days to officially declare. I heard that he was offered like some major NIL deal, so he may stay for his senior year at Ohio State, which would be crazy. Yeah. But so if he doesn't, like, that'd be the only guy. I mean, like, I'm not sold on Will Levis, whatever, from Kentucky. No. They compare him to Josh Allen, but I watched several. He's got the same build. He's got the same arm talent. Similar guy, but I'm just not. To me, the kind of like Mike said. I mean, we wanted to see him like after Mariota did the freaking helicopter throw off his ass in Carolina that I'm sure you guys saw that just made no. Like, he should have been benched then. Yeah, but he wasn't, because we were still technically in the playoff race, which we all knew. Like with Mariota, it doesn't matter. We're not going to get there, and if we do, it's going to be awful. Plus, we knew he wasn't the long-term answer at quarterback, so we wanted to see who might be the long-term answer, which was the rookie we just drafted. So we finally got to see him, at the bye week, which sucked because his first game was against the Saints, our most hated rival in New Orleans. So against a pretty good defense, veteran defense. So they got after him. He had a pretty shaky game, which we all kind of expected. But he got better the next game. Well, again, on the road against Baltimore. Tough defense, got better, came home, beat the Cardinals, looked pretty good, and then beat Tampa Bay and Brady, which we'd never done in our entire life. Big, so, right. And I know Brady only played a half.
It counts.
I don't care.
He
started the damn game. We beat him.
It counts. We're counting that.
He started the game. That's all that matters. And so, I mean, he threw 2 touchdowns. Like Mike said, he's got the arm. He's got, from the neck up, he's got it. He's a very smart dude. And he's a consummate worker. Like, he's going to spend all off season with these receivers. If we draft a receiver, if we get a free agent receiver, we got about $80 million to spend in the off season. We got a big draft coming up. So, I mean, it's going to be, I'm not sold because, like Mike said, you got 4 games. I mean, I want to see him after a full season. That's going to be 21 games. We'll have an idea, if he's running around crazy, can't make reads or whatever. Okay. We know he's not the guy. But I can't see us drafting a guy at this point. I think that he showed enough to the coaching staff to say, okay, he should come in at least as our number one, if not competing for the number one job. So if anything, they'll go out and sign a veteran to back him up. Yep. I don't know what we've taught that we've turned on.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh, Matty.
That's not happening. I would love it to happen, but it's not going to happen. Yeah. Because with the hope that he never gets in the game because he's too damn old and slow right now. Just to mentor the kid, that's all.
Just to mentor.
Because when he benched Mariota, y'all probably heard. I don't know if all the fans heard, but he pieced out, man. He was like, I gotta get this knee fixed. I'm gone.
He's out.
And he didn't. He came back to clean out his locker at the end of the season, and that was that. So, Yeah, but so yeah, I mean, we're optimistic. We'll put it that way. We're optimistic that he can be the guy, and we hope he is, because if you found your quarterback in the third round, that's pretty solid.
Yeah,
Pretty solid, yeah.
Well, and the great thing about that.
No?
Say that one again.
No,
Play them next season.
No, we
play
don't.
who? Play who?
No.
Okay.
No.
I just wanted to know we did. Okay.
That'd be.
I don't
killer,
think so.
No, I think it's 2024
It would be awesome.
that I think we play you guys.
Yeah,
I think
It would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
But the thing about
I don't care
Ritter,
where we play at. If we play there, I'm going to be there. And if we play here, I expect all three of you to be here.
that would be so sick.
I would
love
love to do it. I would love to do that.
Love
Yeah.
to be there.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Oh, hell
Well, I was gonna say with Ritter though, if you guys go into the offseason with him and you give him kind of the keys to the Jeep per se, give him confidence at that point that he could be the guy. He can bond with all the players. You guys have some really, really good core players on that team too. I mean, adding or having a guy that actually had some confident 2 games that he's won in the end of the season, it's just going to breed confidence for the guy. So allows him to grow as a leader, allows him to be able to just have the keys to the Jeep, like I said. And yeah, I mean, that's what you want from this guy. And once again, he's got a low salary. I mean, that's great.
And also he didn't have Kyle Pitts the last 4 games either. His biggest target, our only target, was Drake London, who's another rookie. Had a good season, but that was your best target. And Tyler Algier went over 1,000 yards his last game, and had a great season as a rookie too. So we've got a lot of young guys that look like like Algier was a 5th round steal. And I know that Andrew, you guys liked him a lot.
I wanted him so bad, dude. I had the biggest man crush on him. No joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he went from just, a slow start to just like, wow. Just killing it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're all optimistic, man. It's just we obviously got to improve the defense, and with that, I don't remember a time we've had this much money to spend, and
never
ever. So it's just to be able to get some free agents down there, and the coaching staff's going to be, Dean Pease just announced he's retiring again.
Yeah.
So we got to find a defensive coordinator. So I think I saw that the Broncos blocked us from interviewing Evero from Denver.
Oh.
So we weren't allowed to interview him, but I did see that Brian Flores was being interviewed, which I would love to have.
Yeah.
So so we'll see how it goes, but looking up. So
yeah, I mean,
y'all are too, man. With a small tweak, man, I got a feeling.
Yep.
Season, it's gonna be the playoffs for the Chargers and the Falcons, because it's small tweaks at this point.
Agreed.
It's tweaks. It's not oh my God, we need to redo everything.
Do everything.
The Chargers and the Chargers and the Falcons will be in the playoffs, and I don't mean in like wild card and you out. It's gonna be I'm telling you, man. These are teams that are young and talented with small little tweaks. You will see us being the new Patriots and like the new teams that are, and it's time for the old guys to go, including Matt Ryan, including Aaron Rodgers, including Tom Brady. It's time for the new ones to come, and it's going to be the Chargers in Atlanta. I promise you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree. And the one thing too with the NFC South for you guys, I feel like that division is starting to it's going to change, especially when Brady gets out of there. It's really going to start changing for you guys. I mean, you guys were only a game away, essentially.
Which is hilarious. Yeah.
It's hilarious.
At all, because everyone keeps talking about him going to the Raiders, and I'm like, man, I don't know, dude.
I've heard Raiders, I've heard Dolphins. Yeah, I don't just get the hell out of our division. I don't care, but the Saints they've got to pay at some point. They've been being so much over the salary cap over the last few years. It's ridiculous. And then the Panthers, I think they're gonna ride with Matt Corral, but I don't know if they're gonna. They may be drafting a quarterback too, and there's talk that depending on if Stroud, I guess, stays in the draft or not. I mean, the Colts could trade up to number 1 because obviously they need a quarterback bad, and that who knows? Because the Bears obviously I don't think they're drafting their quarterback because they have Fields, but who knows?
So we got this question here from Ather for you folks. Does the Falcons win the South with a record of 11-6?
100%. I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I love you. So. I don't know who you are, but I love you. I didn't even understand the question that good, but I understand. I kind of got the gist. I got
Falcons 11-6. That's all you need to know.
11-6 was all I need to know. I love you. I love you. I'm with that. Because I'm saying undefeated. You know
Of
how
course
I
you are.
talk.
Yeah,
I'm
of course
saying
you are.
undefeated. But
I
11-6, I'll do it.
Yeah, man. I think we 7 wins with the roster we had both these last 2 seasons.
Biscuit even. You see the dog? He heard you say 11-6, sir.
Yeah,
He's excited. He's like,
See
hey,
how hype
yeah.
he got? Yeah, he said 11-6. That's the same thing I said. Go ahead.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point. This is interesting. So I guess Matthew said they asked Herbert about Staley, and he said that the team believes him. But bro, come on. Like, here's the thing: a player is never going to throw your coach under the bus.
Never.
No,
That
you
is
can't.
that is the death kiss of a football player ever.
Yeah.
It's your ticket out of town, buddy.
100 ticket out of town, ticket out of like the league potentially. So you're never going to hear him go, "Oh, my coach sucks" and whatever. That's not going to happen.
Right.
That's just not going to happen.
We knew he was full of shit at halftime.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what the hell? But
Yeah.
so
Well,
he's not
remember
gonna-
remember when Keenan Allen was he was injured.
Oh, he tweeted that
and then he
fourth
tweeted
down.
like, "What the f we doing?" And
Yeah.
and there was like a lot of conversation between him and Staley. So I mean, and that was a big moment right there.
That was big. Yeah.
That,
Did he
that
get a lot
did-
of? Did he get a lot of shit for playing Williams in that last game? And
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
Absolutely.
Everyone
figured he might.
Yeah, everyone's
Yeah.
pissed. And again, I rightfully so, right?
Yeah,
Williams,
absolutely.
Fractured back, I mean, it's a small fracture, but it sounded like Dean Spanos announced Staley would be back and changes would
Is
be
that
made.
is that
Again,
true? I don't know. I haven't seen
How
it.
y'all
but-
feel about Staley? It's like, man, I don't know what y'all man, y'all like it's like you right on the line. I can't gauge how y'all feel about this man.
So for
I
me,
cannot gauge it.
everybody's 50.
Kyle, the only one that was
Yeah.
like, F this dude, I want him out.
Yeah.
That's what Kyle. But I don't know how y'all feel about the man. Like, you
Yeah.
like him or you don't like him.
I think the jury's still out from what I can get.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I like him. I like Staley. My thing is, again, I think he needs different offensive coordinators and a defensive coordinators. He needs
That's
to think
really it.
differently. The problem is
Different minds.
at some point, like, I think a head coach has to be a leader. I think he's a leader. He's inspiring. He's good. He's made the Spanos family spend money. That's what they needed to do to succeed. They did what they needed to do. Having said that, the offensive coordinator is a moron. Joe Lombardi's got to go. He's got to go. And I think the defensive coordinator needs to go too, because he needs to think differently about his own defense. He needs to bring somebody like a Vic Fangio, if you could afford him, to come in and have him think differently about defense. And then he needs to just be the head coach and not call plays.
Yeah.
Because there's a very big difference between being a head coach and calling plays. I'm not a huge fan of that.
There you
I'm
go.
not a huge fan of that. But he's the emotional leader. So that's my take on it. Again,
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
he's got to delegate, like you said.
he's got to delegate. He's got to
Yeah.
delegate.
But
Yeah,
he's an emotional leader, and you love that part about him.
Yeah. I the one thing though too with Staley, I think that he's got. If you've ever seen they do this show where they kind of talk about like off-season acquisitions and like, when we picked up JC Jackson and all these things, he just knows players really, really well. And he takes a lot of great notes with them. And when JC Jackson came in after they signed him, they said, you know what? These are things that I love about you. This is that. And he had this whole list of everything. This is what you do great. This is what we're going to probably put you guys in as a system. We're going to like, he just knew them, like knew the player in and out without even meeting the guy. And JC was like, dude, I'm stunned this guy knows this much about how my playing style is and everything like that. He really, really knows and understands players. Now, to Andrew's point, 100%, he just needs a better supporting cast.
I got you.
Better supporting cast. I mean, Lombardi is, once again, we talked about, man, we were pulling knives out on that guy, dude. Like,
Dude, I wanted him gone.
dude, that dude needed to get
For
kick
the
rock,
watch.
dude. I mean,
For the boat.
for the watch, yeah.
For the
Game of
boats.
Thrones reference there, dude.
Gab him, dude.
Dude, we were ready to get him out of there, and that's he was ultimately our demise. Lombardi was the one that basically killed our chances to go further in the playoffs, in my opinion. So if we get a good offensive coordinator, I think we'll be fine.
And I'm gonna do
defensive
some further videos on that as well too. I'm
Yeah,
gonna try and
for
do
sure.
some. I'm gonna try and do some, video
I'd agree.
breakdowns and stuff like that on Lombardi specifically.
So listen, guys, I have to ask this. I hate to ask this. I hate to ask this. I hate to ask. I'm gonna say this. I hate to ask it. I have to ask it. For everybody at home, for all the people in the chat, I have to ask this question because everybody. I heard this a million times since the game.
Yep.
Is the NFL rigged?
Dude.
It's funny, man. Like there was whose comment was that? They started talking about did you see how crazy that kick was? because it went up and went like right to the side.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I had a buddy of mine, but he's a Niners fan. He always talks about, he's like, oh man, the NFL is just like WWE, dude. It's all rigged. You got Vince McMahon in the back pulling strings. Look, I wouldn't be shocked. We even did a video on how the Rams paid for a Super Bowl win, right?
Yeah.
And it's guys, I have a hard time not believing it sometimes. It actually is labeled the same type of entertainment, right? So
I did see that. Yeah.
And NFL is an entertainment company. It's not
exactly correct.
It's not listed as a sports league or something like that. Yeah, you know.
Yep.
It's totally possible. I mean, like what we said, he said, hey, look, we're up 27-0. All right, we got to let them back in because Vegas maybe made that call real quick that, hey, you guys need to let this come closer because we can't lose a lot of money. I mean, Vegas got pulled, man. Like, who knows, man? I mean, it makes you think a lot about it. I go back to one point where, and once again, this is a long time ago, different league and everything, but it is the NBA, Lakers, Kings. I want to say it was a champion or league championship, or to be able to go to the finals. Kings were winning that game. It was pretty much just looks like Kings fully had the opportunity to beat the Lakers finally, be able to get to the finals. All of a sudden, it was just fouls on the Kings. Ended up giving that game to the Lakers. The Kings had to go into the next game, ended up losing that game. Years later, the ref that was in there basically got caught gambling on those games that he was reffing. And so there's things out there that you kind of just go out there and say, like, it could be a completely controlled league in whatever way. Outcomes, how a team could be successful, you know, what deals were done in the background basically to be able to get this team to be a successful team or whatnot. Who knows, man? Like, we don't know. We're just over here just looking at the league every single year and looking at our teams and just thinking, hey, we're going to have a great chance to win it. Well, guess what? Why do they put out predictions of, oh, well, we feel like this team will be a 9-win team or a 7-win team or whatever it is. And it gets pretty close. Like, they know it pretty spot on. So Vegas has control, man. And I wouldn't be surprised.
The house always wins, man. And they
conspiracy theorist bros. It's conspiracy theorist bros.
Hey,
listen, like the one time I thought it was like, hold on, man, was when Pete Carroll threw that ball instead of running it. I'm like,
right.
Doesn't make any sense.
That made zero sense.
Any sense. And then he jumped it like he knew it was like that wouldn't make any sense to anyone. So I know the whole chat has been saying that. I heard that all on the internet. It was all on Twitter, like, man, this shit is rigged, and I just had to ask you guys. I'm sorry, man.
No, man, no, it's true because it's something we talk about quite a bit, right? I mean, look, it's very real, dude. There's a lot of money, being bet. I mean, what was the spread on that? 2.5 points, right?
Yeah.
2.5 points, dude, and we were blowing them out. They're like, oh my gosh, guys, we can't do this. We
can't. Vegas can't allow that to happen. That was one thing that Francisco said here. He was talking about, he's like, hey, man, I've been playing football his whole life, didn't play pros, but he's like, yeah, betting is cancer to professional sports.
It really is. It really is. Yeah, you can bet on me winning a pickleball championship, dude. That's money in the bank, dude. That's money in the bank.
I thought it was softball that we got to bet on you.
Oh, that's right.
Got to get those dingers, man.
Yeah. I talked to that pro scout. He wouldn't even listen to me. I said, hey, you want my number? I mean, what's the situation? 4 home runs. I took him.
That's great.
Yeah, he gave me the Black Ranger. He didn't even pay attention to me. He didn't even look at me.
He just stared at him.
Yep.
Oh my god. Oh my
jeez. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good stuff. Well, I know we're about an hour and 40 minutes here, so we want to wrap up with our final thoughts here at this point, guys. I know we want to give you back your day. I mean, it's the Lord's Day and all that, right? So, Mike and John, what's your guys' thoughts?
Man, final thing for me is man, it's the Bolt Bros Day to me. I'm not going to church. I don't even intend to. So my thing was John hit me up and said eating Bolt Bros. I said anytime. I don't care when it could have been midnight. Man, I love you dudes, dog. I love y'all so much. Like, y'all have no idea. Out of like all the tandem, like stuff that me and him does, but this is my favorite one. Like, I am the biggest fan of your podcast. I really do love you three motherfuckers,
Thanks,
man. Like with all my heart. I'm so proud of y'all. And then two, how y'all grew over the season. So like the Chargers, man, I don't know. I can't explain that, but man, y'all won in what y'all did all season, man. This is a dope podcast. I love being on it, and I love you three, man. And I just know that next season, it's gonna be a lot to talk about. So, so like the Chargers, I just want to tell everybody in the chat. I know it hurt right now, and it's in the same way with the Falcon fans. But in a year, man, next season, it's gonna be a lot. The whole energy gonna be different because you have new people in. And we going up together. Like the Chargers are going up, guaranteed. If you understand football, it's visible. Like it's obvious. It's not opinion. It's visible. And that same thing with our team. It's obvious that in a season we going up. So I think in a season, man, it's just gonna be the whole thing's gonna be a good vibe for both teams. And I really look forward to seeing the Chargers, seeing the Falcons, and seeing y'all and seeing out of your Falcon mind, of course.
Yeah,
I love that show. That's my favorite show. So because I'm on it, but I do love the whole thing, man. I'm so proud of you guys. It's dope.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I
Love you
appreciate
too.
that. Yeah,
that's awesome. Dude.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, man, I can't say any better than what Mike said. I mean, and I mean, as far as the game goes, I mean, we're Chargers East. You guys are Falcons West. That's just kind of how it is. I mean,
San Diego Falcons.
However you want to say it,
the Atlanta Chargers, man.
Yeah, Atlanta Chargers.
I mean, we like I said, we feel for you on that aspect of it. But what Mike said, man, we've had so much fun with you guys. I think this is you guys' first full season doing this, right?
Yeah.
Ours too. Yeah, we started it like rookies of the year. Damn it, that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
The rookies of the year. If you see in this screenshot, if these are 5 rookies of the year, don't forget us that.
That's right, damn it. But no, yeah, we've man. I mean, like, I think it was Kyle that reached out to us. Well, I think if I'm not, right. It's before we played you guys. Just we're like, yeah, sure, that could be fun. And we didn't expect to make like 3 new friends out of it, but it was awesome. I'm glad we did. But because we had so much fun, we had you guys back on our show for the recap show, which we'd never done before, which that was fun, even though we lost. But that's okay. But it's like, we're going to keep on going in the off season. So, if you guys want to subscribe to our channel as Chargers fans, feel free. It's out of your Falcon mind. We're going to keep doing like playoff recaps. We're going to do draft breakdowns of different prospects. Mike and I are already looking at edge prospects and starting to go through that and seeing what's what and who we might draft and where they might fall. We'll do free agency shows, all that stuff. So we'd love to have you guys on for any of those shows.
Yeah.
Like Mike said, when y'all need us, man, just give us a call. We're happy to have on, man. It's always a good time. And we're
my mom like y'all. Did you hear that? My mom like y'all.
Like
hit me up and was like, yeah, you know the ball, bro. I was like, what the?
Man, we got seriously though, like even from our listeners and our watch, like people that watch our show, we got so much good feedback from you guys. Like, man, those guys are awesome. You got to have them back on.
Everybody love y'all, dog. Everybody love y'all.
Yeah, so
I want to just tell the people in the chat, y'all just some lucky people.
Make sure if y'all watching, man, make sure to like the damn video because that helps them out so much. And like any of the creators, because I mean, and Mike says it all the time, like, we didn't before we had our channel, we didn't used to do that. I mean, like I'd watch stuff all the time. I wouldn't like it. I was just, just watch and move on. But now that we have our channel, we know how much that actually does for the channel. It's like, okay, I'm liking every damn thing that I'm watching now. If I really like those people because I want them to do more and want them to be more successful. So because of how YouTube works. But I mean, thank you guys for having us on again. Big ups for doing this show today after last night. Like I said, I don't know that we could have handled it, but we were glad to come on with you and talk about it.
We actually talked about James and I talked about doing it last night, and we're like, I don't know, dude.
Never the night of. No.
We need a moment to breathe at least. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, though, this podcast that we're doing today, and once again, man, being with you guys, John, Mike, the thing is, though, we love that we're connecting with other communities and other fan bases. And you guys are awesome, dude. And we love being with you guys. We love chatting with you guys. We love just, interacting and talking about football, man. Like, we have a commonality here, guys. And, also doing this podcast today was a little bit of therapeutic, in my opinion, in a sense, just to kind of get vent out a little bit, hear from the fans. Like, I know a lot of people did lives last night after the game, but I felt like it was just like a dreary, podcast and everything. And we have once again, Mike, you said it perfectly, man. Both the Falcons and the Chargers have some bright futures.
Yeah.
Like, I really, truly feel we do. And I don't, once again, we just have small tweaks that we just need to do on our teams to be able to put us to that next level. AFC or the NFC South for you guys is pretty wide open for you guys next year. That's big. I mean, 11-6, like what Aether said. Hey, man, I could see that happening for you guys. Like, that would be killer for you guys. Like, I feel very strongly that, like, the Chargers just have a couple little things that they could do where they could dismantle the Chiefs, and that's really who we have to beat. We have got to beat them. Now, once again, the Broncos are one thing because now they got Walmart money over there.
True.
And they can buy a coaching staff now. And so that's going to be an interesting thing. But the AFC is a very, very tough division. As you could see, you got like Josh Allen, you got Mahomes, you got, Burrow, you got these young guns all over the place. But it's a tough division, but you just got to get the right staff around you to be able to put yourself to the next level. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what the Falcons do this offseason, because you guys have a massive offseason this offseason to really grow your team out. So bottom line, what I wanted to just emphasize is I feel like I've become a better fan and much more connected to the Chargers and in general, NFL franchise teams, everything like that this year since we've been doing this podcast. And I think it's been one of the coolest experiences and probably one of my best experiences of being an NFL fan this year. So it's been fun, man. It's been fun. So I'll pass it over to Andy.
Yeah. So, and then we'll let Kyle have the final word, I guess. Or actually, Kyle, do you want to go?
Sure. Yeah. I guess I'll go. I mean,
okay. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, like I honestly, like literally doing this show has been like so fun for us, like especially because like we got to meet you and John and Mike, like because you guys are like absolutely like anytime you want to call for us to be on your show, we're there, dude. Yeah. We'll definitely make it happen for sure. Like we love chatting with you guys. Like, you guys, we have the best vibes together, so
we do.
I feel like it's always a good time, it's always great just to chat with you. Hey, we don't even have to talk about football, dude. I don't care.
It could be anything.
It could be anything. Yeah.
Conspiracy theories. Let's do it.
Oh yeah.
It don't matter.
Hey, I've been wanting to do a Bigfoot show for like a year now.
Yeah,
So let's go.
I'm down.
Oh, I like that. But I mean, I feel like the truth is though too is like, I mean, like James is saying is that, like, I mean, this has made us all much better fans. And just connecting with the community so much more. Like, I mean, I've made like so many friends from like the tailgate groups and the Thunder Alley, whatever. And we are just 100% just like, loving every single one of them. It's just fun. But it's obviously it's hard too, because, after last night at the bar, like, I mean, I saw grown men sitting there crying, man. And it was just like, it was sad. All I could do was just give them some hugs, just be like, look, man, it's okay. We got this. This is, it sucks right now, but we'll press forward. We're bolted till we die, and we're just gonna keep this thing going, and we're just gonna keep on living, And the truth is too is like I gotta just throw my absolute love for our fans that have supported our channel throughout this this growth period that we've had. So and we're just gonna keep doing it. We love doing this, and this is like you guys are making us want to do this more. By showing us more, all this love and stuff like that. And actually, in trying to bring on more people like, John and Mike here, just to have good times. And so like, I can't express it enough that this is, this has been like an amazing growth year for us. And, and I hope that we're actually doing enough for you guys, like as subscribers and fans and stuff. We're just going to keep on doing it. And I give you that promise that we're going to try and just keep getting better and better.
Yep, 100%. I'd say the same thing too. John, Mike, you guys have been fantastic. Actually, what I do think we should do for sure is do, draft shows, draft predictions, things like that. I think those are great ideas.
Yeah.
But, one of the things I will say too is that, this has made me a better fan because I understand the game a little more, but I also understand that it takes an entire team, it takes an entire coaching staff to succeed. Yeah. And you could still have the right play called, but something could go wrong. Think about what happened with Joey Bosa getting that offsides penalty, right? Crappy call, was not offsides. It was the correct call, the blitz, he got it. But that's the game of football, right? And that's what you love about it, and that's what you hate about it, because half the time you want to rip your hair out, The other half of the time, you're just euphoric. Think about us the first half of that game, James. I don't think I've ever been more happy in my entire life. I was like,
so stoked.
I could
The place was going nuts.
I could die right now, and I'd be a happy man. And the second half, we were just like, oh my God.
It got quiet. It got real quiet in there.
But that's football,
check,
guys.
Please.
That's
Everybody
football.
was like, check, please. I'm ready to bounce.
Yep. And people left, didn't say nothing to nobody, and just walked away.
Just totally walked out.
And it was crazy. But again, I would say this like, hey, look, this is my favorite topic, talking about the Chargers, but talking about football in general. Yeah. It's been great having you guys on. And honestly, you got friends for life here for sure. So just know that. Just know that. But
stay bolted till you die and out of your Falcon mind.
100%, dude. We gotta make a collab T-shirt, dude. We gotta make a collab.
Got to.
I like
How
that.
sick would that be?
Bolted till you die and out of your Falcon mind. You gotta love it.
Actually, we should definitely make some San Diego Falcons and Atlanta Chargers crossover. Yeah.
For sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
All right,
good
guys.
times, guys, man. Appreciate
I'm
it.
just saying, man, 5-star these guys because that helps so much. That same thing we say. If you can go, that's all you gotta do is scroll your finger to 5 stars. It'll help them out so much. Just like the video, bro. These guys, but this is hard to do. Even though it looked like we just having fun, bro. This shit when they do graphics, bro, that's not easy. And to have the backgrounds in it, but this is hard work sometimes. So please like their video and subscribe. These dudes are awesome, bro. This is a hard job to do, and they bring it every single week for you guys. So show them some love.
Yeah,
man, appreciate the love, dude.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man. You guys are awesome, dude. Love you guys, man. We'll keep it going for the
love you
offseason.
guys.
But let's get on out of here, Bull Bros, and out of your Falcon mind. Let's go.
Peace.
Let's go.